Hey there, comic book friends. I'm Travis, and it's time for an edition of No Capes, where I talk about comic books that don't have to do with superheroes. And these are 4 books from 2 weeks ago. That would be May 21st, I believe. First up, we're going to talk about B.P.R.D. Hell on Earth. This is issue 119. Basically ties up this arc, I believe, of them, these two groups being in Manhattan, and most of this is this huge fight between the Black Flame and Liz Sherman. Liz Sherman is just incredibly powerful now. They look like comets flying across the sky, smashing into each other. The Black Flame basically reveals that as long as there's any life in the area, he will resurrect, he will survive, he will thrive. So he's goading Liz into annihilating everything, everyone, and that will ultimately mean she wins. But in the process of that, what's the cost of that win? So she pulls herself back from the brink of basically annihilating everything. I mean, she's in some degree responsible for the damage that's been done to the Earth and everything as it is. She helped crack the Earth with the explosions that went on underground, I believe. And so here she's put in an even more impossible situation, and she backs away from the precipice instead of going in, which is really interesting. Our teams get gathered up. They're getting out of here. What's left of them? Still really enjoy it. Really solid book. I believe that this is the first issue that I've seen the artwork of James Herron in. He's going to be back, they say in this, to some other work. Great artwork. Really enjoyable. Just an enjoyable book as always. I haven't heard a lot of people talking about it other than Nate 40. I know some other people started picking up some issues of it, so I'm hoping to get to hear what they say as they're a few issues in now, I believe, in reading it. Are they still enjoying it, or is it still too big of a machine for them to get into? People always ask me, where do you get started at? Pick a trade, I believe, read the back, read the front matter, tell you kind of what's going on, and just go. So yeah. I'm still really enjoying it, and I'm look forward to what's next. I mean, because they're done with this kind of part of their mission. What's the next part of the mission? What's their next goal? This seemed to be the next big thing, so I don't know what's now. I mean, everything's still all crazy. How are they going to fix the Earth? How are they going to stop this giant machine that's happening? I haven't seen an answer yet, so I'm curious to see what's going to happen. But very, very cool. Another really awesome book. Bunker issue 4. Really loving this story by Joshua Malkoff. Joe Infirmari's artwork is great in it. He's got this style that just matches up with this interesting story of these people who have found this stuff out. And oops, don't look at that page too close. There's some naked bodies in it. Yeah, anyway, really loving the story. We've had this explosion happen. Our one character has come out as this hero. The problem is the woman who took all the girl who took all the photos found in the newspaper that our hero had that's the next day. I mean, he knew the bombing was going to happen. So what are the ramifications of the fact is he's really not a hero. He saved some people, but he could have saved everybody, maybe, by telling somebody this bomb was going to happen instead of sitting on it and waiting to make himself this hero. Because he has been told by his future self that he needs to go through these motions so he can basically work himself into politics, be the president, and do the right thing to ultimately save the world. Lots of people are going to die in the process, but at the end, it's going to be the best thing. One of our characters is definitely gotten his job. He's gotten into his lab. He's going to be finishing out his father's work because he knows that's what he needs to do. Because he knows he needs to set these horrible things in motion because ultimately that's how it's going to play out. Meanwhile, the ladies are kind of questioning what's going on here. One of our characters has decided, well, if you're sleeping around on me, I'm going to sleep around on you. Has a bit of a fling. She's just really pissed off and really angry. The women in this don't seem to really be buying into the we need to follow our instructions so well. They're more like, screw this. I got the short of the stick. Forget it. I'm not following through these motions. In some ways, some of them are following through the motions anyway without even realizing it, I think. Plus, at the end of this, of course, we get this crazy thing because one of the future selves has managed to come back and is going to really, really complicate things and whatnot. Just really fascinating story. I love the dialogue in this. There's some fights in here between people, and they feel like real fights. I mean, as far as the verbal abuse that goes on and what people say and the angriness of it feels really legitimate and real. And I love it when I can read a book and the dialogue is coming out of people's mouths. It's like, oh, hell yeah, people really say stuff like this in these situations. And it just feels right. It doesn't feel like something that's been delivered. It just feels like what should come out of people's mouths. Great, great book. Very happy I picked it up. Very excited to keep reading it. Just really curious to see ultimately what's going to happen in this, because if they follow through the motions, horrible stuff's going to happen. But you just know they're not, because things have already gotten complicated in ways that I don't think the future selves saw as being part of what was going to happen. So really, really interesting, really good stuff. Another really great book, East of West, issue 12. Continue to say the people who dropped this around 2 or 3 were crazy, because by the time you got to 4 and 5, the thing just is firing on all cylinders and hasn't missed. The political intrigue in this issue is at the top. We're on the verge of war, happening. Either the United States people, the Union, one of the secondary people plants a bomb. The bomb blows up. It causes all kinds of chaos. Not sure if that's exactly what they wanted. I'm not sure if this secondary Union person, who's like the president's right-hand man, I don't know if they did this because that's what the Union wanted to do, or if they have their own implications going on and whatnot. But some serious lines are being drawn. War seems to be about to happen. Is that what the 4 horsemen, or in this case the 3 horsemen, wanted? Is this all part of the greater plan? We're just not sure, but very, very interesting. You can feel the tension of this tipping point as the great Asian nation is going to be going to war with the Union, and then who's going to draw lines and who's going to stand on whose side or whatever is pretty crazy, because some people have died. It's going to just be really, really interesting to see where this goes. Very exciting book, very interesting. No death in this one, no death, the character, but that's okay. I'm sure the next issue we're going to see him again, and what he has going on with the whole oracles and their visions and stuff. But really, really great book, very interesting in all kinds of ways. Just very excited to be reading it. If you were one of those people who dropped it at issue 3 or 4, go get the trades. Get yourself caught up. If there was anything about those first couple issues that you liked, as far as the look and the style, go back and get the book, because there's just a lot going on now, and it's really cool. Limeleaf Saga, issue 19, chapter 19, as they like to call it. Man. It's always nice when a saga book comes out, right? Great stuff, great dialogue, great feelings in the book. We get a sense of this toddler Hazel now, and of course at the very end, the first page, as per usual, is this, oh my gosh, kind of a page as it always is. In this case, we see the birth of one of the robot people, the monitor-headed people, and it's a close-up, vaginal shot of the birth of it. And then, of course, we get a hammer, put on our heads at the end of this thing, which I don't know, I won't spoil it, but potential heartbreak, lots of potential heartbreak is coming. yeah, this fabulous family and this fabulous couple and whatnot. The heartbreak that may be coming may be really, really sad. We'll see what happens. We'll see where this all goes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to speculate because I don't want to bum myself out. But yeah, a really great comic as always. If you're a Saga fan, you're a Saga fan. And this has it. It's just great. It's just really enjoyable. Not a lot happens in this as far as movement in the book, but as far as getting to see these people and what their lives are like now that we've jumped ahead a few years, is really, really, really enjoyable and really interesting, and I'm excited to see what's going to transpire now. Great stuff. And that is it for No Capes. I will see you all next week. Have a great one.